Today we're going to be working on number one for some of you that are still having the in-file statement problems. We're going to look at that and we're going to work with how we take the graphics and put them into a document. Now when you do your projects and now for some of your regular class assignments, you're going to have to upload a document, not just a text file, because you're going to have to be putting the graphics in a document and you can't put graphics in a text file. So you can see here that we have, this is the first page. If I had left clicked on blood type, you'll have your file name and they'll have it either in single quotes or double quotes. It really doesn't matter, but this is the pathway that you should use. It will show you your particular pathway. This one is mine. So if I want to now start a program, I hit F4 on my computer and I can get to a new screen. So a new program that is. So I'm going to take the program that I have made and I'm going to just Control V. I'm going to paste it in here. Sometimes when I paste it in, the quotes here SAS On Demand won't accept. Sometimes it does. To be safe, you can go on and just re-put them in. Just delete them and then just put them in with new quotes so that for sure SAS On Demand will take the quotes that you're doing. So now I'm going to input the blood type and then we're just going to run a proc print to make sure that the data went in correctly. So I hit the running man and I make sure that I get the table that has the results, and there's the results of this. So if I want to do a pie chart or a bar graph, I can do that, and we've practiced that. But like I said, the real point of today's class is how do I get my graphics and my tables into a document so that I can upload it and make some sort of report. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the code, and I don't need to do the proc print because I already know that my data went in well. So I'm going to pull that out. And in here, I'm going to go on and do a frequency chart. So I want to make a frequency table that doesn't have the cumulatives in there. So I'm going to use a command, and I noticed that on my answer key you can't do a proc univariate with categorical variables. So what we have to do to get these frequency tables is we have to do a proc freq statement, which is what we're going to be learning on Thursday. So here's kind of a foreshadowing. So I'm going to put in my code for my frequency to get a frequency table. Now I'd also like to add to this is that we really need to start making comments in here. So it's time to start putting our comments, more comments into our SAS code. I noticed really it was only one student that had comments in their code, really good comments. So I want to start seeing some comments in your code. So I just added a comment that's letting me know that this is the code for making a frequency and a percent frequency table. And then right after the comment comes the code that it would take to make the frequency and percent frequency table. So I'm going to run this and we're going to get our table. And now if I had a document, how would I get this into a Word document? And that's what we're going to learn today. So what you would do is if you look here, this will download it as an HTML file, so that would have to be opened up in a web page. If you use this, this will download it as a PDF. But if you want to put it in a Word document, and this is a rich text file Word document, that's what you would download. So I left click on that, and down at the bottom you can see that program and that rich text file. I can open that up and it will come into as a Word document. And it looks like that. Now what we can do is enable editing, and in doing that you have that. And now you could either copy this, put it into another document that you were doing, or let this be your document, however you want to do that. So you would take this and copy and paste it, your file, and you could put this into another, let's say you had another Word document, and put it in there, and there you'd have your table. So that's a way that you can get whatever document or make a nice display, or take your results and make a nice display. Now let's look at what would happen if you did it as a HTML file. So I download that and I'd have it in a browser page. I can copy this, and if I have a Word document or some sort of word processing document, I can paste what I have here and move this around, center it, do whatever I like, and therefore you get everything that you'd want in there. If I want to center these, well, center all of this, I can center them and change things around to make it look very nice. So you have that option also. And doing it as a PDF, that's nice, but then you can't add or subtract things to it. But it does make a nice PDF if you just want the results. So you'd have the results very nicely done. So that's how you can get the results in a nice file. So now we're going to make let's go on and make a bar chart, and this time in the bar chart we're going to make it percent. So it's going to be a percent frequency bar chart. So the way that we would do that, and we want to keep our frequency table, we're going to take our code and put it in there for our for the bar chart. So I'm going to take some code that I wrote, and we'll say a relative frequency bar graph. There's the code. So now I'm going to run that, and in here we're going to get not only our frequency, relative frequency, but there's our bar graph, and it's in percent. So now, and don't worry if you get two graphs, I can't do much about that. So again, how would I put this into a file? Well, I could do my results in a rich text file, Word document, and it would look something like this, where the one page has the frequency, relative frequency table, and then there's your bar graph. And you can control all, copy it all, and put it into another Word document. So you'd copy this whole thing, and if you wanted to put it in, where you had some sort of problem where you're saying bar graph, and we'll say table. You could then add that bar graph right there. And if you wanted to do your frequency table, you could do your frequency table. And in there, let's get our RT, our rich text file, and go in here and grab our, oh, whoops, didn't want to do that. Let's get our blood type. So we're going to copy this, and then we're going to put it into our document. And there you have that. So one way to do it, again, you could do it in the HTML file, however you would like to get your graphics into your document that you're making. For your online assignment, I want you to take this file, blood type, that we've been working with, and make a 3D pie chart with the title, and the title should be Distribution of Blood Type for 50 patients. I want you to upload only one document, and in that document it should contain the code that's going to make this 3D pie chart with the title Distribution of Blood Type. I want to also see the 3D pie chart with the given title that you have above. Put that all in one document, and that's what your assignment is for this week.